Actually, clients have been sending us a lot of emails with complaints lately. It has to do with one of our male employees' services. Do you know who that might be? I believe Will to be the one. His bad attitude, along with the fact that he still hasn't mastered the work, have been brought up by a number of clients. His age, in my opinion, could play a role. I understand. We just cannot continue to hire someone of that caliber. I apologize. Well, as of right now, we'll have to let him go. It could be time for me to take a step back, even though I believe I could continue working after retirement. I recognize. I appreciate everything you've done so far. Thank you very much. Mary got back to me the following day. Will, there's a serious issue. Not a single one of our usual clients is visiting. Daniel is panicking out and wants to know what's going on. So does the manager. How come? Why is this taking place? What might have been the cause? I am Will Wilson. I'm 66 years old. I moved in with my wife after retiring from my job. 3 grandchildren live with us. Our children have moved out. I was a sales representative for a housemaker before I retired. When I was younger, I used to put so much effort into my work that I frequently topped the sales charts. My wife Lisa took care of the kids and home chores. I want to spend time with her now, repaying her for those years of support by doing household chores and playing golf, which is one of our common interests. However, I still feel as though something is lacking. The idea of not having a career anymore, after devoting decades of my life to it, motivated me to work every day. I told my wife about this one day. She agreed with my wish to work right away. It's fantastic. Would you mind trying it again? Will, I enjoy watching you work so hard, she grinned. I'm grateful. Okay, I'll give it another go. I began my job search the day after that. I was concerned about whether or not I could still manage a job at this age, but I quickly discovered an employer that was open to hiring me. This tiny cafe has 2 locations. Their siphon-made coffee is highly regarded, and they take great pride in it. My spouse is a lover of the establishment, and the cakes are also well-liked. I believe that, given my background in sales, I could manage a customer service position. Although I'm not big on sweets, I have a strong fondness for coffee. I was eager to test it. My wife was overjoyed, acting as though she had won the job, when I told her that I had been hired. That's fantastic. It sounds thrilling to work in a cafe, as one might assume. You get to dress in a stylish uniform. Hey, you don't actually work here. Compared to me, you appear more excited. Despite our advanced age, we eagerly started our new lives with these kinds of talks. I was anxious on my first day of work. I hadn't felt this anxious before entering the cafe since I was a new employee. I was a little relieved to discover that I still felt these new emotions. I went up to a female who appeared to be a part-time employee as soon as I entered the cafe. Excuse me, my name is Will, and I'm starting work here today. Yes, Will, I am aware of you. I work part-time and am Mary Williams. It's good to meet you. You can follow me to the office. Kindly proceed with me. She was happy and kind, and Mary's beaming grin helped to calm my nerves a little. I was shown to a little office after Mary. A computer, folders, documents, and half-empty bottled drinks littered the desk. Please punch in at the time clock by the entrance upon arrival, then change into your uniform in the locker room. We'll have the manager here soon, so please have a seat and wait. Please feel free to ask any queries you may have. Mary made me like her even more with her kind grin when she stated this. Soon after, the manager entered the office. Good morning, Will. I'm excited to start working with you today. I got up quickly and said, Good morning. I'm excited to collaborate with you as well. I'll be here primarily because I have administrative duties to complete. Our part-time employee, Mary, will enlighten you up a floor. You can ask Daniel anything. He is the floor's team leader and will be here shortly. Understood. Well then, please head to the floor and do your best. feeling a little uneasy. I turned to face the floor and greeted the part-timers who were working. Mary started by going over the menu with me, explaining each item as she went. A man came up to us as she was teaching me, saying, "Hey there, Daniel," in a tired voice. "Well done. Will is here. He begins work today." Mary gave me my introduction. He appeared to be the worker the management had previously indicated. "It's good to meet you. My name is Will. I'm excited to collaborate with you." Daniel said, "Hello," with an instant bewildered expression on his face. "How come? This is how you recruited an elderly man. What use is an elderly man like him expected to have? Please give me a moment." His initial words surprised me so much that I ignored my greeting. How impolite. "Oh please, he's only now getting familiar with the menu. Once he gets the hang of it, he'll be fine," Mary reassured. Her generosity came as a huge comfort to me. "I'll do my best to learn the job, so please bear with me." I grinned once more. "Most likely, you'll simply forget everything. Please do not worry us. This is not a place to retire." Daniel then vanished into the office. "I hope you will excuse him." With an uncomfortable smile, Mary said, "Daniel can be really snarky at times." "I see. Together, let us give it our all." "Mary, thank you." I spent some time studying about the menu before being given a lesson on how to brew coffee with a siphon. This was really difficult for me, and no matter how many times I tried, I was never able to get the hang of it and produce decent coffee. It's the distinguishing feature here, though, so I have to get good at it. Mary comforted me, recognizing my fear and saying, "It's okay. Everyone starts by making mistakes." I'm grateful. I suppose I need to practice a lot. Daniel came over with a sneer as I sent back a rueful look. "How awful are you at this, old man? We need you to pick things up fast. Practice time is not available." "All right, but initially I also made a lot of mistakes. You'll eventually grasp it. You will be fired if you continue to complain and don't brew a good cup of coffee. In the first place, I had no intention of hiring an elderly man. You are not useful." Clearly, Daniel found my advanced age intolerable. I have pride, but there's nothing I can do about my age. A young punk like him can't make me look foolish. I'll disprove him by learning this job as fast as I can. That tenacity gave me the drive to achieve. The manager called me into the office while I was rehearsing. "Lunch breaks will be taken in shifts." "Okay, Will, you have lunch first." "I understand." A feeling of exhaustion overcame me as soon as I sat down in the office chair and took a breath. My legs were quite fatigued, something I had not experienced while working. It's difficult to stand all day. I can't be whining on the first day, please. Since Mary is trying her hardest to teach me, I must also try my hardest. This is what I told myself as I began to eat my wife's prepared lunch. My worried heart and my hungry stomach were both calmed by the comforting taste. I kept practicing preparing coffee in the afternoon after the break. So concluded my exhausting first day working part-time. My wife gave me a troubled look when I arrived home. "How did the part-time work go? Are you all right?" "Yes, I made it through, but it was difficult to stand all day. I have to practice golf on my days off to increase my endurance." "Sure, I'll come along," grinned my wife. I've been working the part-time job for 3 months now, and I've become accustomed to it. I can now prepare coffee that is good enough to serve to patrons. Since most of our clients are repeat business, I've begun to recall their names, faces, and customary orders. Many patrons take a seat at the counter. I usually talk to them while using the siphon to make coffee. Having experience in sales, I felt comfortable interacting with clients. Our clientele includes office professionals, students, homemakers, and elders. Speaking with clients over lunch is one of my favorite aspects of my work. Customers now refer to me as Will or Old Will with affection, and some even confide in me about their problems. When I was managing a new customer's table one day, I unintentionally brought the incorrect order. "Excuse me, but this isn't what I ordered." I apologized profusely. "I will immediately remake it. Kindly give it a moment." Daniel was waiting for me, looking at me angrily, as I quickly took back the incorrect order. "What are you doing, old man? Are you going crazy? You will be punished by having to clean the entire floor by yourself. You'll be dismissed if you commit the same error again. I'll let the manager know that everyone is having problems because of your errors. You get it." Daniel and I were the only part-timers working that day because everyone else was off. As promised, Daniel played on his phone, hid in a corner, and did not work during the entire period. When the boss periodically came onto the floor, that's when he feigned to work. I was enraged. Everybody occasionally makes mistakes. Why was this the way I had to be treated? I worked carefully and politely with the customers, determined not to make any more blunders. I made it through the day without making any mistakes. I went to talk to Daniel at closing. I completed all of this without any problems. Could I go for the day? I'll overlook it this once, but I won't do it again. Acting all haughty and powerful when he's not even the manager. Who does he think he is? As I made my way home, I complained to myself. From then on, Daniel would find ways to avoid his responsibilities and put all the work on me when it was just the two of us. You ought to feel appreciative that you can work at your age. Should you cease to be busy, your intellect will get dull. Which is why I'm assigning you tasks. You need to be giving me thanks. The cafe was quiet and had few seats, yet it was difficult to handle the lunch rush on its own. My days got harder and harder because I was overworked, insulted all the time, and stressed out to the point of tardiness. I considered approaching the management, but I was too proud to concede to a less experienced worker. "Will, you look so exhausted these days. You don't feel particularly hungry. Are you working a part-time job that is too demanding for you? Your health comes first, so don't overdo it." "I'm fine. Don't worry." I wanted to be as happy as possible so that my wife wouldn't worry. The manager summoned me over as soon as I got to work one morning. "Will, Daniel, I need to talk to you both." "Yes, what is it?" "We've been getting a lot of emails from customers complaining lately. It has to do with one of our male employees' services. Are you able to identify the possible person?" Daniel spoke up before I could say anything. "I believe Will is the one. I've heard a number of clients bemoan his attitude." I was astounded by what I heard. This was the first I had heard of anything like that. In addition, he continues to make mistakes and still lacks the necessary skills for the position. He has received numerous warnings and instructions, but nothing has changed. His age, in my opinion, is a key consideration. What Daniel was saying shocked me. I tried to be kind to all other customers and liked having daily talks at the counter with my regulars. Why was all of this taking place? That was the one occasion in which I erred. I see. I apologize, but we have to let go of that employee. We had to say goodbye to you for today. I resisted the urge to dispute with the management. Perhaps it was just my conceit, but I felt like I was doing a terrific job. I thought I could continue working even after I retired, but perhaps it's time to officially retire. My self-assurance swiftly evaporated, leaving me speechless. I recognize. I appreciate everything you've done so far. After gathering my items from the locker, I headed over to bid the part-timers farewell. I completed the required tasks, punched my time card one more time, and walked out of the cafe. I started crying on the way home because I felt as though I had lost all faith in life. My wife came to the door to greet me when I arrived home, shocked to see me back so early. "What took place? Did you depart ahead of schedule? Do you feel ill at all?" I quit. Although I couldn't bring myself to admit it, my observant wife might have figured out what had happened. That being said, I was surprised by her remarks. "Thank you for quitting the part-time job." "What?" "Will, I was really concerned about how worn out you seem to be recently. You didn't have to work as hard for me anymore. From now on, let's relax and enjoy our time together. Yeah, thank you. I felt as though I had left a huge hole in my heart when I uttered that. Mary left me a message on my phone the following day. Will, there's a serious issue. Not a single one of our usual clients is visiting. The manager and Daniel are panicking out and want to know what's going on. What? Why is this taking place? What might have been the cause? You know, we put your parting message on the staff blog yesterday. I believe that everyone chose not to attend after reading it. Several patrons expressed their reluctance to attend in the absence of you. It seems to be the reason no one is attending. I understand. Additionally, it appears that the owner will shortly visit the business. I'm curious as to what's going on because it seems odd. Daniel and the manager are in a panic since no one is coming in, and now the owner has suddenly shown up. Will, is there any other way I can get in touch with you? Yes. I know it sounds difficult, but persevere. I'm grateful. I apologize for troubling you now that you've given up. I simply feel overburdened. It's all right. You are welcome to get in touch at any time. The story Mary told unnerved me. How can I address the regular's absence? However, at this point, I am powerless. I got a call from the manager a few hours later. Ty Will. I apologize for interrupting your day off. Is now a suitable moment to speak? Yes, everything is all right. I apologize, but would you please come to the store right now? What is happening? Has anything occurred? If it's okay, I'd prefer to talk about it with you in person. All right, I'll go over right now. Despite not knowing what was going on, I made the decision to go after hearing what Mary had to say. I ran into the owner again at the door when I got there. Will, a long time has passed. Personally, I just arrived here. It was me who gave you the call. I apologize for the impromptu request. We should speak in the office. Daniel and the manager were waiting for us when we walked into the office. I appreciate you coming, the proprietor replied. They all up and greeted one another. Please take a seat. I got a call from a regular customer, which is why I brought you all here today. When I asked them why Will had departed, they stated they had stopped by after reading his farewell post on the site. Since I was unaware of it, I was shocked and came to learn what had occurred. What's happening? Well, there have been a lot of grievances regarding Will's customer service. We asked him to go because he continued making blunders on top of that. You idiots. Did you do a thorough investigation? Will excelled in sales. I would never expect subpar service from someone like him, and he is one of my friends. I have the best understanding of his character. He is not the kind to receive criticism. Is that accurate? I assumed the owner had just conducted his interview and hired him as normal. In all honesty, the proprietor of the cafe helped me land the job there. My wife and I frequent a golf range where I first met Mo, and his spouse frequent that place as well, and we bonded over our shared love of dining out as a quartet. When I remarked to Mo in passing one day that I wanted to go back to work, he suggested that I try working at his cafe. However, Daniel, the floor manager, stated that Will's customer service never got better no matter how many times he received coaching. The manager hung his head and grew hushed in his speech. The owner gave Daniel a nasty glare after realizing this. Daniel, what's this all about? All right, Daniel could not talk well enough and stammered. Now, bring one of the temporary employees over. Tell me the truth, please. Move quickly. Yes, I get it. With haste, the manager walked to the floor and came back carrying Mary. Please pardon me. Hi there. Mary looked very nervous as she walked into the office. I apologize for bothering you while you were working, Mary. I have a couple enquiries. Kindly have a seat. Yes. I've heard a lot of negative things spoken about Will's customer service. What are your thoughts about that? Mary's startled eyes grew wide. She responded with confidence, "That's absolutely impossible," which was a sharp contrast to her earlier nervousness. Will has always had good discussions at the counter and is highly well liked by our frequent clients. We younger employees looked up to him as a role model because he was so friendly to new clients as well. Oh, really? Who you believe was the true target of the allegations regarding a male employee? You were able to talk openly. Don't worry, I'll keep you safe. Well, I have witnessed clients chastise Daniel for his subpar service on a few occasions. I understand. Is it accurate to say that Will wasn't very competent at his job? Without a doubt not. Everyone complimented Will's coffee as the best. That's why after he departed, the customers stopped coming because of how well liked he was for both his personality and his coffee. I understand. Mary, I appreciate you telling me. Please feel free to speak up if you have any other reports to make. You are free to share anything with me. I'm grateful. You promised to protect me, therefore I will tell you everything. Daniel would frequently neglect his work and assign all of it to his part-timers. He also called Will an old guy and said he was useless, insulting him. How come? How are you able to say that? Will affirmed what Mary had said. It's accurate what Mary is saying. When it was just the two of us, Daniel would verbally insult me every day and assign all of the labor to me. He even asserted that elderly people should continue working to prevent dementia. You didn't, Daniel. That was intended to be beneficial to you. He tried valiantly to justify himself, but his arguments fell flat. We are all the same age, Daniel, Will, and me. Do you think I'm worthless? The owner grinned mischievously as she peered into Daniel's eyes. Daniel was speechless and froze. Daniel, in addition to filing fraudulent reports, you neglected your work and used foul language towards your employees. We know who this store actually needs, and it's obvious who has to go. Please give it time. Please don't fire me. I apologize sincerely. I'm sorry. Just don't fire me, please. Daniel, saying sorry isn't enough. You are an inherently flawed human being. You don't value customers, you don't respect your elders, and you don't feel like you operate as a team with your coworkers. Someone like that is not necessary in our store. Whatever justifications you offer, you will be fired. You, management, bear responsibility as well. You have to start keeping a closer eye on things at work. Yes, I apologize profusely. The management expressed sincere regret. Daniel was beside him, looking sad and almost crying. I need to ask for a favor now, Will. Please return to the store beginning tomorrow. You are needed here. The customers, Mary, and the other staff members are all anticipating your return. Please, I'm eager to collaborate with you once more. I'm grateful. Thank you very much. I would be delighted to return. Mary gleamed as she heard what I had to say. I went home after the meeting and wrote about my return to the store on the staff blog. Upon arriving at work, my manager requested me to take on a leadership role. Would you please teach the younger employees how to make coffee and how to provide excellent customer service? Of course, please. I would be glad to assist. One by one, familiar faces began entering as I stood at the counter as usual. You returned. Please don't give up once more. Will, I came here only to sip your coffee. That's accurate. I come here every day. Will, simply to talk stupid with you. And Will, I depend on you for career guidance. Without you, I would be lost. Everyone was chatting at once, and there was laughter all over the counter. Upon returning home, I informed my spouse about the kind reception I had from the patrons and my advancement to part-time leader. You truly are a workaholic, but it makes me smile to see how content you are at work. I will continue to support you. Simply look after yourself and try your hardest. That makes me delighted to hear as well. I'm grateful. I had almost given up on life at one time, but I now see that there are those who depend on me. I want to live up to their expectations and continue to witness my wife's and the client's smiles.